Hello, it's me, the Crazy Nerd Inventor, and today I'm attempting to synthesize elemental iodine. So what I have here is a solution which I've dissolved some sodium iodide, and it's currently stirring on a hot plate. And it's nicely dissolved. Now the next step is to add the equivalent amount of hydrochloric acid to this solution.
So after I filmed that intro, I didn't really feel like being on camera for the rest of the video, so I suppose this might be a voiceover with, I don't know, it might be ASMR, so I explain what I'm doing. So measuring out some hydrochloric acid. You need about the same volume of hydrochloric acid as you have solution. Now, strictly speaking, this didn't have to be heated, but I just did it to make it dissolve faster, which I didn't show, but yeah. It's not that hot, it's just slightly warm. So here, add the acid. Oh, the stir bar spazzed out. Yeah, you hear me cough from the fumes, the hydrogen chloride fumes. So add it in and you see the solution turns yellow very slightly. This is the hydrogen iodide being formed.
Oh God!
Yeah, I coughed again. And it goes yellow as the oxygen in the air starts oxidizing some of the iodide into iodine, which is slightly soluble in water, in fact. And then iodine dissolves quite well in an iodide solution, so there's iodine in there. And here I have some hydrogen peroxide. This is 6%. Now, if this solution was saturated, you will use about 2.5 times the amount of 6% peroxide, or 5 times the amount of 5% peroxide as you do solution, but it's not saturated, so the same volume was enough in my case. So I add it slowly drop-wise, and then I just pour it in. Like that. And yeah, you hear the stir bar like struggling a little because there is solid iodine forming at the bottom. Okay, once my patience is up, I take it off the hot plate and we set it up for a filtration. I'm just gonna skip ahead here probably. So yeah, we're just filtering it, and you can see at the bottom there's some solid elemental iodine, and it's quite heavy, as you'd expect, because iodine's one of the heaviest halogens. So here I'm rinsing out with some distilled water. And that ensures all the iodine, well, most of the iodine is transferred. So you can see the iodine on the filter paper here. And now we need to dry off the iodine. So what we do is we place it on a hot plate, and we begin heating it up. And this is where things get cool or hot. So we place a round bottom flask on top of the beaker, and the iodine will actually begin to boil or evaporate. and it will begin to condense on the round bottom flask, as I will show you. And for safety, we use this pond stuff to destroy any leftover iodine. This is the stuff you put in tap water to make it safe for fish. It removes the chlorine in the tap water. It does the same thing with iodine, because chlorine and iodine are
That actually worked pretty well.
almost the same, really. You see, I'm a little pleasantly surprised at how well that worked. Now, if you don't have this stuff, you can use metabisulfate. But I didn't have any, and I had this aquarium stuff, so I used that instead. And just shove the filter paper in. That destroys any leftover iodine that I couldn't scrape off. Alright, back to our evaporating iodine. You can see we've condensed some crystals on the bottom of the round bottom flask. Now, I noticed there was a lot of water with the iodine at the bottom, so I took it off the heat and I used some paper towel to absorb up the puddle of water that was at the bottom of the iodine, because I didn't want that to mess stuff up. So, and you hear me, I was holding my breath because I didn't want to breathe in the iodine, which it wasn't actually that bad, to be honest. The iodine, it's not that as strong as chlorine. I was afraid that the whole garage I'm doing this in would fill up with iodine vapors and, you know, be like a room full of, you know, bleach and acid. So I do lose some iodine here, which, as you can see, the solution does destroy. But you know, it's not much. It's not much value in trying to recover that iodine. So, sod it. So then you see the fumes picking back up as I put it back on a hot plate and put on the round bottom flask again. And any paper is put in the solution to destroy the iodine stains. Well, not iodine, well, the iodine. So it started to get dark very quickly, so I had to use a torch to light this up, but you can see what's going on. You might be able to see the fumes in there really starting to get quite thick in there. And yeah, you can see the fumes bellowing out if I take the flask off, and you can see the iodine crystals beginning to form. Now, this is really weird because for some reason the fumes started to turn orange or red even. I don't know why this is. It should be purple. Maybe it's just the lighting, or I don't know. I should have been wearing gloves here, but well, that's oh dear. And it was getting quite dark, so yeah, lighting's not that good. Yeah, it's getting quite fumey. Fumey? What the fuck? I don't remember what I was doing here. I was trying to get a better shot of the iodine, I think. Oh yeah, I tried to turn it off, but I accidentally turned on stirring. Took it off the heat. And now we get to collect our iodine. So I scraping it all off the bottom flask and the beaker. I'm putting it on a piece of paper. Now I'm just going to speed this up.
Oh, damn, it's all wet.
Right, so now I try and transfer it all into an ampule I made, and it's spilling everywhere. Now, it was raining when I did this, so the air was very humid, so the filter paper was damp, like everything was damp, the iodine was damp, and it soaked into the paper somewhat. I really should have used some sort of, like, I don't know, grease-proof baking paper or something like that, because you can see how floppy the paper is and how wet it is, and how the iodine is just stained it because of that. So I try and put it all into this ampule. I'll probably speed up this whole thing again. Right, you can see here my final yield of iodine, and I've got it all into this glass ampule. And now to seal up the ampule. Now, excuse the sandals you see in the background, and excuse my lack of patience as I repeatedly overestimate how hot the glass is and keep snapping it with my pliers to try to pull it apart. So the idea is I heat the ampule, or the open end of the ampule with the blowtorch, and start pulling on it. And as I do that, as the glass melts and I pull it, it will sort of neck in and it will seal itself. As I'm about to do here. So I pull the glass and it seals itself. Very nice. This actually takes a lot of skill to do, because if you heat it for too long, the air expands and you can't seal it properly. And here you see the final product. This is the ampule of iodine I made. Now it is very wet because, again, good old British weather. And yeah, I love the way it looks. It's like a dark grey purple metallic sheen to it. I think it's pretty cool. The sample's not very dry or pure, but this is solid elemental iodine that I made. And I'll see you in the next video.